Hello everybody out there, I'm Chris and welcome back to another comic book review. In this review, I'll be reviewing Convergence, Superman issue 2 of 2. By far my favorite Convergence tie-in for this week. This was an excellent miniseries, one of my top recommended out of all of the miniseries from Convergence, and I'm going to explain why. It's a good and bad thing when it comes to Superman. It's a good thing because this is the Superman I've been missing for the past 5 years, and it's a good thing because I got 2 issues that I really loved, and it was like reading a monthly Superman title again, my Superman. It's a bad thing because starting next month we go back to the new DC Universe Superman, and coming out of Convergence, which I don't know if DC did this, with all the best intentions, but coming out of Convergence and going into Divergence of all things, especially with the way things are going with Superman, I'm not sure where my viewpoint of Superman will be from Divergence, but I digress. Let's go into the review for this book. This book was excellent. Opens up right where the last issue left off. Superman fighting Cyborg, Captain Thunder, and Abin-Sur. And he doesn't want to fight them. He's still trying to convince them that they don't have to fight, that they can figure things out together, and he actually gives them one last chance to reconsider, and they don't, and he honestly makes quick work of all of them, and he runs to Lois. Unfortunately, Lois was taken away by Patient One, or Kal-El from Flashpoint. The Flashpoint Gotham. The artwork in this book is excellent. Dan Jurgens wrote and drew this book, and I love Dan Jurgens' artwork. I mean, whenever I see Dan Jurgens' artwork, I feel like I'm reading Superman from back in the 90s, because he knows how to draw spot on Superman. And I'm not talking about New 52 Superman. I'm talking about the Superman, the only Superman that should have ever existed, and unfortunately doesn't. I mean, look at this artwork. This is gorgeous artwork. So thanks to Lois and a few other things, read the book to find out, Superman finds Lois in Flashpoint Batman's Batcave. He makes quick work of Kal-El from Flashpoint. You don't see him for the rest of the book. He's just taken out. And Lois is in labor, so we all know what's coming next. And with the help of Thomas Wayne, whom at first didn't want to help, but then decided to, if you read Convergence, you already know that Superman and Lois Lane have had a baby, and at first Lois wants to call him Jor after Superman's Kryptonian father, and I love this because this is the Superman I've read. Now, we all know that the New 52 Superman is more of the Kryptonian side. The true Superman, the real Superman, and he says it right here, I think of myself as human. So in the end, the baby's name is, spoiler alert, if you are a Superman fan, you should have read this book by now anyway, Jonathan Samuel Kent, after Clark and Lois's, both their fathers, and I thought it was excellent. It was a perfect ending to a perfect book. I thoroughly enjoyed this series. This is a 5-star book. If you are a Superman fan, this will be a 5-star read for you. If you're not a Superman fan, I would still give this book a 4-star read because Dan Jurgens' artwork is excellent. The story is very well paced. It's centered around the 2 cities that are involved in Convergence. There's a good fight. In the end, they come to a mutual term, so to speak. The Flashpoint Batman and Superman from the DCU at least come to a good terms. And it was just a beautiful ending. And granted, obviously we're not going to be going back to this Superman's universe after Convergence. It would have definitely been interesting to see what would have happened next now that Superman's has a child, and he's still Superman and still Clark Kent at the same time. This definitely would have made for a really good story in the regular DC universe. Unfortunately, we're not getting any of that. I have no clue what we're going to be getting from DC. But for right now, for this book, for this review, I have to recommend this book highly. This is one of my top books, my top book from this week's Convergence Times. I would highly recommend checking out Superman. This was excellent in, like I said, a good and bad way when it comes to me. So we'll see what happens next, I guess, with DC. Let us know in the comments below what you guys thought about Superman Convergence, both parts or just this part. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I highly recommend checking this book out. So So until next time, everybody, don't forget to check out Comic Related, Comic Frontline, Zone 4 Podcast, and Frontline Gaming Zone. Together we are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. And until next time, everybody, take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and I'll see you guys in the next review.